I think for me, my art is a bit of a mix between social commentary and just personal narrative. How do we take what we already know and, make it more beautiful?
The Intersections exhibition is basically highlighting a number of Native artists that we've been collecting over the years. As curator, my job is to look at the artwork, see what we have in the collection, do research on the artwork and the artists themselves, and I started to see different themes that each of the artists were focusing on in their artwork that they wanted to convey as a way to educate larger audiences about Native history and Native culture, but also to empower each other. And so there were sort of 4 major themes that I decided to focus on, which were, the environment and our landscape.
I've made up my mind in my painting to always have that dramatic nature as a backdrop.
Also, cultural traditions and social justice issues. So a lot of the Native artists that I chose are delving into some of these issues about Native history and stereotypes.
I watched Lincoln, the movie, and it really didn't touch on the Dakota Wars and the Dakota 38, and I thought that was kind of interesting that they excluded that, and I thought I had something to work with.
The historical and political stuff became important to me as when I went back to college and I started to learn this history between the United States government and Native people in the U.S. And I realized that a lot of this was withheld and not made available growing up in public school systems. And so I was just kind of amazed at what I'd learned. And I began to see some of this history and some of these events visually. It just became my subject matter. I wanted to paint in a storytelling form, and this subject matter just became perfect.
The last theme is animals. I really appreciate how a lot of these artists in the exhibition Intersections integrate animals and storytelling into their artwork. As an Ojibwe person, I know a lot of Native societies, Native people believe that animals and humans are related, and so therefore animals are on the same level as humans.
I like to learn from these little animals that I paint. They have certain qualities that could be helpful. Why I don't paint them in their natural state or their natural color is because I'm trying to get into their psyche, kind of like trying to get into their way of being, way of seeing, because I know that I really can't experience their world as they do. So if I change it a little bit, I can at least experience that change.
And this has been an experience for me to be in an exhibit with an artist like Patrick DesJarlait, who when I was a kid I would see his paintings, or prints of his paintings on the wall, and artists like George Morrison, who really kind of fought to create an identity for the contemporary Native artist that didn't rest, on the back of feathers and Indians riding horses and buffaloes and stuff like that. And then also the folks like Carl Gawboy and Jim Denomie and Steve Premo, who, I would say have careers that span way beyond the first day that I walked into painting school. And then to sit here and have a show with them is, for me, I would say a highlight of my career.
Every time I curate a show, I go, okay, who's the new artist? Who's this new young artist that I can take along and say, invite you to the show, be part of this exhibition with us. And that's just what you do, is you spread it around. And you bring that next generation with you.
I think the best thing that I could probably do, as an artist, is to just try to keep an eye out and make sure that whatever generation is coming after me, has a safe place to follow suit, come in, make their own voice, and have it be supported.